right, welcome to another episode of Behind the Scenes. I'm BJ Lisco, filling in for Joe Danyi here at Youngstown Studio, and with us today we have Rick from Capsule Toys. Rick, thanks for coming out, man.
Thanks for having me. Out the gate.
Yeah, man. No problem. So, give me a little bit of your background, man. How did you get into when did Time Capsule Toys start? Kind of how did you get into the toy business?
So I started years ago. I actually had a corporate job. It was a buy, sell, trade CD, DVD place that was in the Youngstown area. Mm-hmm. And I was always collecting horror toys, like stuff from horror movies. Then from that, I branched out and started selling at like horror conventions. And I quit that job. I quit my corporate job to just start selling toys because I was just like, I gotta do something. I gotta do something fun. Mm-hmm. I'm so sick of being tied down to being miserable. So I started selling toys. I started at a flea market. And from there, like selling on eBay, stuff like that. And then from there, that's where we got our first location, which was a very small spot in Girard, like very small, right by the Girard post office. Then from there, we moved next door. We moved around the corner because we kept expanding. And now we're currently located in Niles.
Kind of going back to your childhood, what toys did you collect growing up?
I was a big Masters of the Universe fan. That was like the biggest thing. I was born in 81. So I was every week when we got to a certain age, my mom would get paid. We would go to like Woolworths that was in the mall.
Yeah, oh yeah, I remember.
They had like the canaries flying everywhere. That's the one thing I remember. And I'd go there every week, and she'd let me get one Masters of the Universe figure. So I had like almost the entire line, minus I think 3 or 4 figures. And then after that, I got really big into Ninja Turtles because Masters of the Universe was no more. So I had to get into something. So the next hot toy was Ninja Turtles.
We talked about this the other day, and we're going to get into our narration video here in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, what kind of toys are like sort of super hot right now? Because it seems to come in waves. Stuff gets real hot and then goes down. We talked the other day about Nintendo games, video games were like real hot, and then they came way back down. But right now, you got some stuff here too. But I know like Ninja Turtles, wrestling, the old Hasbro stuff that we grew up with. A lot of that is like really, really hot right now. But yeah, I mean, what do you kind of see, and what are some of the current trends?
A lot of the current trends are right now, like modern wrestling, like AEW figures, Elite, stuff like that are super hot. That's like what we probably sell the most of in our shop. We have like a 40-foot wall of just wrestling and 2 cases full of wrestling. Vintage-wise, everyone wants like rare Ninja Turtles. So like hot spot here, like just him with no accessories loose, it's like $1,000. And then like the undercover turtles. Then like Masters of the Universe, a lot of the Masters of the Universe people already have the common stuff, so they want the rarer stuff like Scareglow or Eternia, which Mattel actually just re-released an Eternia that went up for like pre-order last year, and people are just now getting it. WWF Hasbros are still hot. Some of them just fluctuate big time in price, like the 1-2-3 Kid. Like 2 years ago was like $1,000 figure, and now it's right around like $500 again. And give some point in time, I'm sure it's going to skyrocket again for no good reason.
Yeah, we were talking the other day. It seems like, there's like certain, podcasts and that sort of thing that it sort of drives the price up, and it drives the sort of collectability up when they start talking about stuff. And it seems like, but yeah, I mean, how much of that do you see? Like, the podcast airs from, I think we talked about, what was it, the major?
Major Wrestling Figure Podcast.
So yeah, how often do you see people coming in like right after that looking for toys or looking for certain stuff?
It happens quite often. We were featured on like Ethan Page from AEW. He's done a couple toy hunt vlogs at our shop with like Evil Uno, Preston Vance, Danhausen, and then he did one with Johnny Gargano. But like those vlogs and the podcasts influence people's like what people collect. Like because of Ethan Page, the Mortal Kombat figures that came out from Hasbro, there's like the 3 3/4 inch ones that are like the size of G.I. Joes, skyrocketed in price. When Major Wrestling Figure Podcast and Canik started doing the Big Rubber Guys, which were their version of LJNs, LJN started picking up speed again, and people started wanting that stuff. And then all these other I shouldn't say shops, but all these other toy collectors started making their own versions of Hasbro's. So you have like Zombie Sailor toys. He just announced he's doing like a CM Punk one that comes with his dog Larry. There's Hastel Toys that does some. Then there's like micro brawlers. Pro Wrestling Tees started to do. Now there's other companies that started doing their own versions of those. But like a lot of these podcasts and stuff like that influence. People don't realize they influence toys a lot. And what, like, for example, we talked about in the store was someone on Major Wrestling Figure Podcast made a comment saying, like, hey, should I start collecting Hook figures? Like the Robin Williams movie Hook.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden, next thing you know, in all the toy groups, you're seeing people, oh, does anyone have this? Does anyone have Rufio? Stuff like that.
So what? What is some of the stuff that you brought in here today?
So I brought Scaraglo from Masters of the Universe. He's like one of the most popular figures. People always want him for whatever reason. His price doesn't ever really go down. He's super hard to get. Like right now, he has the green accessory with him. The rarest one is the glow in the dark one. I think it was like a first run thing, and then after that, my guess is it cost them too much money to make it. That's usually what happens. We brought a scavenger from Transformers. It's on card. The thing is, with these were worth a pretty penny on card because a lot of people just bought the gift set that had all of them. But growing up, a lot of us didn't have money, so we'd go to the store and be able to get this for like $3-4.
Yeah.
And now because these are like $400 a piece sealed, and that's the big thing with Transformers is vintage Transformers sealed are crazy money because there's not that many because we all ripped them open and broke them trying to transform them.
Right.
And then here we talked about before we started to record was this is Roadblock. This is version 4 Roadblock. It was graded, which grading means you encompass it in this plastic to basically you can't get it out unless you take a hammer to it to like keep it nice and pristine, stuff like that. It was recalled because it came with a launcher disc and there was no, you could wind it up as many times as you wanted and it would not stop it. Like you could make it as powerful as you wanted to where kids were like hitting themselves in the face with it. They're freaking putting holes in their ceilings, you name it. So they have to recall it. They pulled it, and that's what makes it worth so much money. Because if you have like the Joe by himself, he's like $5.
Yeah,
but you're paying like just for like the launcher and stuff like that. You're paying like $500 for that launcher and the disc. And then right here is Hotspot. He was like one of the last ones in the line that came out from Ninja Turtles. He's a firefighting Dalmatian. It's like him and Scratch the Cat are like two that came out at the last of the line because like no one was collecting Ninja Turtles anymore, and they just put them out. And
I don't even remember those. Because I collected Turtles as a kid. I don't even remember those characters.
Yeah, they came out so far down the line. Like crazy thing is, we got this. We travel all over to buy toys, so we go to Chicago Toy Show. This guy had this laying in a tote, just laying there in a tote, no protection, no nothing. And like I picked it up, I'm like, this thing's just laying in a tote. Like what the. And then underneath it, I'm like, dude, you can't just have this thrown in this tote. He had a scratch on card, like unpunched, and he had like 6,000 marked on it. I'm like, you have it thrown in here, and it's $6,000.
Right.
I go, please put it on the table and like keep an eye on it because I'm like, I don't want something to happen to it. Then we have Undercover Michelangelo, who those Undercover Turtles have really skyrocketed in price recently. I think the last one without a coat and no accessories sold for like $900 because I think it came out at the point in time when parents weren't like, we're not buying you another Ninja Turtle that almost looks just like all your other Ninja Turtles and you just want this one because it has a hat and a coat. That's probably why they cost so much money.
What's the most expensive toy you've ever sold?
Recently, it was at the Maryland Toy Expo, and it was a sealed Galoob Inspector Gadget.
Okay.
Which is like the big, it wasn't like 12 inch, it was like 16 inch, something like that. We had one of those sealed. We sold that. But of most expensive that we've probably ever sold, probably Wonder Bread He-Man, which was like, at that point in time, I think it was like $2,000 or something like that.
So is that one of the Wonder Bread He-Man, was that a Wonder Bread promotion you mailed away for him, or is that how
That's
that worked?
the rumor.
Okay.
No one knows the true story behind it. Supposedly, Wonder Bread did this thing where you sent out UPCs, stuff like that, and you'd get a He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
He came with brown boots, his loincloth was brown, his belt was black, and his hair was brown.
Mm.
Wonder Bread says that's not true. But Wonder Bread also got sold, and a lot of the paperwork that when they got sold, the paperwork went missing.
Mm-hmm.
So no one knows truly the origin of Wonder Bread He-Man.
Gotcha.
And like, or if he even was supposed to have accessories, because there's a rumor like, oh, these accessories are like maroon, but they're also accessory pack accessories. I don't know. But yeah, Wonder Bread He-Man's like it's pretty much like a myth. It's like Bigfoot. You don't know its origin story, but you know it's there.
Yeah, right.
This episode was brought to you by Youngstown Computer, the Valley's technology company. We appreciate the loyalty and all you have shown us over the years, and it's our promise to serve all the technology needs of the Valley. Call 330-259-7278. We have both home and business services available. Everything from repair, installations, and new equipment. You can improve your Wi-Fi and have technology serve you better. Call 330-259-7278. Or you can schedule your appointment right now on youngstowncomputer.com and look for the red Book Now button.
So you do a lot of toy shows and stuff too. How often do you do them? And describe obviously where they're at and some of the guests you've had there.
Okay, we put on the Toyhio Toy Show. Me and my partner Tom, who passed away a few years ago, started doing it. Our first one was actually in a fire hall, and from there we went to like a dance hall place. And since then, we have been in the Metroplex in Girard, Ohio. We put on 3 shows a year now. It's every February, June, and October. And we've had Danhausen there several times, Ethan Page, the Acclaimed from AEW. We had Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. They were actually under WWE contract when they did our show, which is crazy because WWE does not let you do small-time things like us. We've had Karrion Kross. We had Scarlett Bordeaux. We've had the Bunny, Colt Cabana, Butcher Blade. We've had Jessica Havoc from Impact. We just had Moose, the Impact, or now TNA World Champion. Brian Myers several times. We had Matt Cardona, Smart Mark Sterling. There's a laundry list of people we've had.
Anybody?
Rosemary.
Anybody in the works or that you can reveal kind of coming up that you're working on, or is there, or I guess is there a is there like an ultimate like guest that is there like one you want to check off or?
There's a couple I'd like to check off. We actually just last night we announced that we're gonna have Willow Nightingale.
Okay.
From AEW. I've been trying to get her for like the last 2 shows, and like they wouldn't sign off on it. And then her agent was like, "Oh, they signed off on it." I'm like, "So soon?" I'm like, "Okay." But I mean, there's some guests I'd love to have. It's just a lot of people don't know how much money it costs to get certain people.
Right.
Like people are like, "Why don't you get Sting?" I'm like, "Give me $20,000, and I'll get Sting." And then he gets to keep everything else he makes on top of that $20,000.
Right.
But like, there's a couple people I'd love to have. Like off the top of my head, I'd love to have Chris Jericho because Chris Jericho is like my all-time favorite wrestler. I was at a show with him once, and I did not get a chance to meet him because I was running my booth the whole time, and his line was 4 hours long. And I'm like, I can't leave my booth for 4 hours, so I guess I'm just not going to meet him.
I'm sure. Well, yeah. My side job is for Chris Jericho, so we'll have to try to see or put some feelers out there. I'm sure we could get him. Can we afford?
Yeah, can we afford him? It's a big question.
Charge to come. You know what I mean? But maybe I don't know. We'll see if we can get you a deal.
I'd appreciate it.
But all right, so we're gonna get into our video here, man. Like I said, feel free to comment on anything. Obviously, you're out in Niles, right?
Yes, Niles, Ohio. We're right in the plaza with Raphael's. I bought that thing in Cleveland, actually, that Dino set. And when I got back to the shop, I was like, oh, my God, it's actually from Youngstown.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So I'm like, well, it's back home now. But we have all sorts of stuff. Like we have a lot of modern Star Wars, and then we have the Power of the Force stuff, which everyone likes to pick up because we sell it like dirt. We sell it like dirt cheap, like $7 a figure, sealed.
Star Wars stuff seems to, I mean, especially obviously the original lines and stuff can go for some real crazy money. But yeah, I mean that always seems to be super collectible, and that is that another one that just never really seems to go down in value.
It pretty much, yeah. There's certain characters that just will not go down in price, and they're just so hard to get anymore. Like a man, which is this green-looking alien thing that comes with he comes with like a stick. Like that's his accessory. Like there's Stormtrooper Luke. Like Stormtrooper Luke, his helmet's always gone. He has like what they call, I think it's I can't remember if it's the blue-black gun or the black gun, because you have to like literally put it over top of a flashlight and see the color that's on the edge of it. And we've had like once. They're so hard to get. And then there's like blue Snaggletooth, which is different than red Snaggletooth, because blue Snaggletooth came with this Sears set, the Cantina set, and they threw a fit because it was actually supposed to be small and not tall, because he's small in the movie. So then that's why the red one came out, and he's so small.
I gotcha.
But yeah, like here we have AEW figures, like I said before. We bring in a lot of AEW talent. There's Chris Jericho. I'd like to bring in Orange Cassidy. Jamie Hayter's boyfriend did our show once, Charlie. A lot of people who know the Ethan Page Toy Hunt vlog would know Charlie. We had Butcher. MJF would be another Grail guy to get. Yeah. He's like so... People don't understand how he acts at signings. Like he'll sign your thing and just throw it.
I mean, yeah, I've seen the videos. Like he's committed to that character.
Yes, he is. He's very committed to that character. Matt Riddle's actually going to be in Ohio next month in Chillicothe.
Okay.
So we sell so much loose wrestling out of that wrestling bin. And because we sell so much wrestling, we partner with Mahoning Valley Scrappers and New Wrestling. So we became a sponsor. Now it's going to be our second year now that we'll be a sponsor for Wrestling Under the Stars.
Oh, yeah.
So we have like 3 tables there, and we have to start like hoarding wrestling now for that show, because the amount of wrestling we sell there is insane. Oh, there's like we call it our G1 Transformers case. So we put like G1s and GoBots in there. That's like the vintage stuff. And G1 means Generation 1. Someone actually just asked me that the other day. Why do you call it G1? So that's why it's Generation 1. Yeah. And then Generation 2 came out in like the 90s, and it was like the bright neon colors, because that's what was popular in the 90s was neon. Yeah, and this is like this is our modern case. So that's like a modern version of Fortress Maximus, which that's like the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive or something like that, because it has a sword. Because the normal version didn't come with a sword. Yeah. So you had to pay so much money extra to get some special box and a sword that you really can't do nothing with. Yeah, it's just like a lot of the more modern stuff that's come out recently. The stuff to the left of that case is just all stuff I have to still process and go through, because we just get in so much stuff to where I just pick out the good stuff. And that actually the Star Wars display came from Toys R Us. It was a woman who worked there. She took every Star Wars display when they were about to throw it away, and she was selling her house. And that was the last things she had in her house was Star Wars displays. And she goes, "I need these gone. Can you buy them from me?" I'm like, "Yeah." So it's still there. It's huge. And a lot of the times with those two, they're always missing their lightsabers. And ours actually have the lightsabers. More wrestling. This is just the hodgepodge case, as we call it. Like Sky Commanders, Peanuts. A lot of people don't remember Hot Wheels attack packs. They're just like cars, and then you hit a thing and they turn into like a monster with teeth. Alf, everyone loves Alf. Aerator's another one of those weird, obscure toy lines. Jurassic Park will never go out of style. Jurassic World, whatever you want to call it. Ninja Turtles. We sell a lot of carded turtles online, like through our Whatnot. And then we also sell a bunch of shows. We sell mostly loose ones through shows. Right there's that mobile command center thing from Jurassic Park. It's like incredibly hard to find complete because it has like 9 million pieces to it.
You have a couple toys here that I always wanted as a kid and didn't have. One was the Technodrome I always wanted. I never had that. And then the other one was the Ghostbusters, the Firehouse.
Yes.
I never had that either. And I remember always seeing it in the, what was it, it was a Sears catalog? What was the catalog? What catalog was it? Penny's catalog or whatever?
It was Sears Wish Book.
Yeah, well, so you'd have it and I'd be like, yeah, they would have the photos, all the toys in there, and I'd be like, oh, I want all these. Like,
around every Christmas, my one good friend Scott will bring in a Sears Wish Book, and we'll go through and just go, oh my God, I didn't know this existed. And the one thing we didn't know existed was there was a Mobile Suit Gundam. I think it was Mobile Suit Gundam. It was a play set. And we're like, they made a play set for these? Good luck finding that thing. Like the last one sold was in like 2014, and like I had to look it up on like Worth Point. That's how I found out the last time. And it sold in 2014. It sold for like $2,000.
Wow.
So I don't even know what the world would sell for now because it's so possible to find. But yeah, we got a lot of GI Joe stuff. GI Joe stuff used to be real hot. Like during COVID, GI Joe was like that's the thing too. Is during COVID, a lot of stuff really spiked. But there's still certain things for Joes that are like stupid money, like that Mauler that's right there, that tan tank. The driver to that, if you have him with his microphone, is like $300 because his microphone is brown, and he's the only Joe with a brown microphone. So his microphone alone is like $250.
Man, just like the most random little thing that
and like
changed or not, whatever. And then
and like another thing,
out and know about it. That's crazy.
Yeah, and like another thing too is superpowers. McFarlane Toys is doing superpowers now. And now there's modern McFarlane Toys, or Kenner did them. Now McFarlane's doing them. They're exclusive to like Walmart, I think. And Walmart has 2 exclusives. The one's Black Manta and the other one's Reverse Flash. The Black Manta, mind you, they're like $15. The Black Manta now is selling for $140 because I just checked the other day. The Reverse Flash is over $300.
Wow.
And like, everyone's complaining because they want them, but the problem is they're just random cases. They're like chase figures, so like good luck finding them. And like Hasbro keeps punting out that vintage collection stuff because people love 3 3/4 inch stuff because like not too many people have space for a Black Series ship because most of the time when they do the Black Series ships, it's always like a made-to-order thing, and you don't get it for like 2 years.
This episode was brought to you by Youngstown Computer, the Valley's technology company. We appreciate the loyalty and all you have shown us over the years, and it's our promise to serve all the technology needs of the Valley. Call 330-259-7278. We have both home and business services available. Everything from repair, installations, and new equipment. You can improve your Wi-Fi and have technology serve you better. Call 330-259-7278. Or you can schedule your appointment right now on youngstowncomputer.com and look for the red Book Now button.
Like there's a Vintage Ghostbusters. Vintage Ghostbusters, that's another thing. They started re-releasing a lot of the Vintage Ghostbusters stuff. Yeah, and like a lot of other stuff that's real hot. It's like Batman the Animated Series. Because that cartoon will always stand the test of time. And then, like, once again, going back to Toy Hunt vlogs and podcasts, Ethan Page Toy Hunt vlog, he's obsessed with Batman the Animated Series. Kind of drove prices up for that. Yeah. Like, one of the most expensive figures in that line was Combat Belt Suit Batman. Because it's the only Batman in that whole toy line that looks like the Batman from the cartoon series.
Yeah, wow.
And it came out at the end of the line to where they didn't put out that many. We had one once, and we actually sold it to Evil Uno from AEW when he came to the shop. Because he's like, I might as well get my grail if I'm here.
Yeah, we talked the other day about, I interviewed Matt Cardona, and like he single-handedly, I think, with the stuff he buys, drives up the price of everything just because he spends so much on this stuff to kind of go find it. I remember interviewing his wife, Chelsea Green, who's in WWE now, and yeah, just asking her about like... it was how many toys do you have around there? And she just goes, it's effing ridiculous. Like, it's so much.
He has a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. He wants the hard to get stuff. And if it's not hard to get, it has to be like his big thing too is in order for him to have a mint figure, he will buy one that's sealed and he will open it.
Mm.
Like, he does not care. Like, I spent this much money on this, I'm going to open it.
Wow.
We actually had a guy do that once at Toyhio. He needed a mint. I can't remember if it was like the Evil Crush Hasbro. He's like, do you want to film me opening this? I go, you're paying $500 to open this. He goes, well, I need a mint one. And this is like during COVID. I was like, no, man, I'll pass.
What do they open them for? Like, was it just like, I don't understand the...
Some people want to open it because they have the disposable income. They just want to make people mad.
Yeah. Yeah,
Other people just want a mint figure. And for them, that's the only way for them to get it like mint.
So they don't want the box though.
No. They'll
They
just
just
rip
want-
it open and...
Wow. You think they would just go try to find a really good condition figure out of the box already, but they want to open it.
Yeah, they want to open it. That's what they do. Yeah, there we got a couple signed figures. We were buying this guy's wrestling collection that lives in California. He contacted us through Instagram, and he had so many signed elites.
Yeah.
But he gets set up with like personal meet and greets. So he's like, oh, I got one coming with Austin coming up. Do you have any Austin figures? Or he's like, oh, I got another one with Rey Mysterio. So like he actually sent us a signed Rey Mysterio the one time. And there's like our horror case, which I always tell myself in November I'll take it down. I don't. I just leave it up all year. And like the Goosebumps stuff in there is probably like the rarest because the Goosebumps stuff's just like super hard to find. Like those cardboard coffins are from like the book reading club.
Oh yeah. I figure how many of those survived, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and then that can there was like for like Goosebumps energy drink or something. Like this, we bought a Goosebumps collection. It was just insane. This guy had like literally everything. He had everything from roller skates to Taco Bell wrappers from the UK.
Wow. Dang.
Like, and this is like our hodgepodge carded boxed area. Like, we don't need a special section for Congo.
Yeah, probably not. Starting lineups, I remember I have a lot of those. I think my dad still has some of those like up with like various like signed baseballs we got from players and stuff. Still just
Yeah, a lot of starting lineups aren't worth anything, but the first wave of like NBA ones are like stupid money.
Yeah.
Like I read this article online once. It was like, oh, the most expensive figures that you did not know about. And it said starting lineups. Like, oh, this thing's full of crap. And I started looking and I go, Karl Malone, John Stockton. I looked them up. You're talking like hundreds. And I was like shocked. I was like, what the? That and the Cleveland Browns ones are worth a bunch of money too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we had a Kozar one. I obviously they're all out of the box and stuff too. But yeah, we have a Kozar one. I think still sitting there, whatever.
That used to be at our second location. That Power Ranger was our open sign.
Oh, okay.
So you would know we were open. That's why it's all sun faded because we'd put it outside to let people know we were open because our landlord wouldn't let us put like a sign on the building.
All right.
So we'd have something in the window and then we'd put the Power Ranger out.
So the Power Ranger's better than the sign, I guess.
Yeah, the Power Rangers. People are like, you're the shop that had the Power Ranger. Like, yes, we are. Yes, we are. Those combo figures there, they're like the dollar store version of Master Universe. And like there's those Mortal Kombat figures I was talking about that Ethan Page drove the price up on because he started collecting them. There's a Hasbro's, like right there's a signed Berserker. And there's a signed Mountie. Niles actually just did his first signing last year in probably I don't know how many years.
Yeah, I think I saw him show up. I was like, what
There's a
is this
Brutus
guy
Barber Beefcake. That's like the rare one because that's the zebra print pants one. Kamala, who recently passed away. We actually have a Kamala figure that's signed twice.
Oh, wow.
Because he signed the case it was in and then signed the figure itself because he realized he wasn't supposed to sign the case. And then we got like the box that he shipped the guy back to it in. So we have like his actual name, his address before he passed away and everything. Because I think that happened like shortly after he got like one or both legs amputated. Vintage Mad Balls.
Oh, yeah, I remember the Mad Balls.
All the stuff all of our whatnot stuff we packed. We started buying up, like a lot of people started selling us video games again. Nintendo Powers have been flying at our store. Some LJNs we talked about earlier that Major Pod kind of got people itching for. Captain Lou and
yeah, I got couple loose ones of those still. I've got Bobby Heenan and Iron Sheik. But yeah.
Those things are super popular too. This Poppy Playtime.
Those, yeah, I've never heard of those.
It's some Roblox game for kids. And it's this thing called Huggy Wuggy. And then when you get close to it, he has like sharp teeth and like eats you or something. I don't know. We sell a ton of vintage cards that are in packs. And that Star Wars sign came from that woman.
Yeah.
It would hang in the entrance of the boys section of Toys R Us. And there's some graded G.I. Joes. And like there's just a lot of the bigger stuff we can't fit in the cases and stuff like that. Power Rangers, Master Universe. Those Nosy Bears came from the American Greetings warehouse, which a lot of people don't know. American Greetings did Toy, which they created like My Pet Monster, Nosy Bears, Strawberry Shortcake, stuff like that. They were based out of Cleveland, and like their company name was called like those characters from Cleveland. That's who also did like Mad Balls and stuff like that. And our friend Amy Rigby, who's from the area, has a nonprofit organization. Yeah. She got to go like pick their warehouse because they're going to throw everything away. And they're like, oh, here you go. You can take the stuff, sell it, and use it for your nonprofit. So we were giving it for Toyhio. We gave her booth space. Said, here, whatever you make, you get to keep. We're not charging you for space because it's all going to the animals. So she had like crazy stuff from this warehouse that they were just going to throw away. Yeah. Because I found out about it from I got tagged on some article. Some dude got hired to clean out the warehouse. And they said, just throw it all away. He started taking it and selling it online.
So how can people get in touch with you?
Okay. You can get in contact with us through social media. Time Capsule Toys on Facebook, Time Capsule Toys on Twitter, or X now, Instagram, and then there's Toyhio Toy Show on Facebook, and then there's I think our Instagram name is Toyhio Toy Show, and then I think our name on the X is Toyhio Toy Show. If not, it's just Toyhio. And if you're from out of town or whatever and you want to buy stuff from us, we always list stuff on eBay too, which is Time Capsule Toys LLC. We're on Whatnot. We just do Toyhio because Toyhio is easier. Yeah. And so many of our guests always say Toyhio and stuff like that. So it was just easier for us to do it like that. So then people will chime into our Whatnots. And they go, are you the Toyhio? Like, yes, we're the only Toyhio, yes.
And when is the next Toyhio again?
It is June 15th. And we'll have I just talked to one person on the phone, which they work Saturdays. So... because of AEW. So we got to see how that works out.
Right.
And we're talking to a couple other people from AEW and some people from Impact, because Impact, they do all their filming like ahead of time. So, but yeah, June 15th, we return. Each show has like a theme. By the theme, I mean, it's just a flyer. There's no like hidden meaning behind it.
Yeah.
A lot of people think just because our flyer is Mortal Kombat, meaning we're like bringing in the guy who played Johnny Cage or something. No. Yeah, I just like having themes of flyers so they stick out like a sore thumb. Yeah. And people see it and go, oh my God, I need to go to that.
Your last one was at Super Mario 3?
Yes.
Yeah. So I like theme flyers like that. I do that for my band sometimes where it's like, oh, I'm going to base it off of this old advertisement from Kiss or whatever else and then just redo it. Yeah.
I love that stuff. And that's what we've been doing forever is every flyer has a theme. I don't want our flyers to look alike at all. I want them to stand out. Like last October, the theme of the poster was our buddy Ron did it for us. It looked like the cover of the horror movie Chopping Mall. So like he redid it to where it was like Shredder's hand holding a bag, and there was a Boglin sticking out and some other stuff. And I didn't think a lot of people were going to get that reference. A lot of people were like, oh my God, I can't believe you did Chopping Mall. I'm like, I like horror movies.
Nice. Yeah, I love doing stuff like that. But, well, Rick Heyman, thank you so much for coming down, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.